Hey my Shuga Bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, OGJackeeNicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? Welcome, Black y'all. You are tuned in to the Bougie AF channel. It's your girl, OGJackeeNicole, where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving you feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at BougieAF_ish. Also on Twitter at I'm_bougie_AF. So listen. Y'all know I have been complaining for like over a year that somehow, some way, I don't know what's going on with Clubhouse. They done got me into the rich people section of the Clubhouse or the algorithm, right? So I happen to always be around all the rich people. Like every nigga is getting to the bag. Everyone got money. Everyone is telling people to kill themselves. They getting all the money, all types of nigga shit, right? And I find this to be like something that I was not new to, like hearing this type of rhetoric before I got on Clubhouse, because in the group chats that were in my state and also in my city, and niggas were going back and forth, I found it really strange behavior, because it'd be like niggas in the projects and they would like be talking about like their clothes. They'll be talking about, oh, their cars or something like that. It would just be really, really dumb shit. So it's sort of like this like delusion not to recognize the fact that there's just no way that you could live in the projects and have money. There's just no way. Now there's those cases and those situations where people get into our money illegally and living in the projects. Yes, most definitely. But that's still not like you in a whole nother tax bracket, okay? Because even in them projects, if you pulled up in what, like a Rolls Royce, them people down at that office are going to have a lot of questions about how you could afford that. They're going to be thinking a lot of different things. With that being said, it just seems like there's just this weirdness around money and understanding money that is just completely, like, for me, sometimes I just be just sitting there just with my mouth open, like really listening to this bullshit. And this is the reason why, like, if you listen to my commentary, or if you sat around me in real life, or if if I've been on stages and you've heard me speak, I don't participate in that conversation, right? I'm not doing that nigga shit with you in terms of clothes, in terms of money and all this other stuff, because I just think that's just really ghetto ass behavior. And that's not like something, and I understand what like real money looks like, right? Like families or people who come from money look like the Kennedys, right? In the future, it's going to look like Diddy's kids. Like it's going to look like Jay-Z and Beyonce kids, right? They're going to be able to say, I come from money, right? Not niggas just because your mama worked at the post office and had her own beauty shop and your father worked for the city and shit like that. So y'all all usually had a lot of, steady income coming in. So you doing better than your cousins and you traveling more than your fucking cousins, and then you don't really struggle like the rest of your family. That is not what the fuck coming from money is. Y'all kill me, yo. Y'all kill me. Have you ever sat and watched a nigga be sitting on the back of somebody else's back porch talking about how they are getting to the money and they the flyers and they this and they that and I got this and I'm doing well and kill yourself and da. Like, it is fucking crazy. It's sort of like also when you seen that PPP loan situation. And I remember, I promise you, I was in a Clubhouse room one time, and this girl was trying to give advice on how you could get that PPP loan money. And I remember listening, and I'm someone who's done baking. I'm someone who just knows a lot. Fuck it. And she literally, to me, described a crime. And so I'm sitting there, and like I said, I've worked in banking. I know a few things, like, and plus, I just know what a crime sounds like, right? So she's like, yeah, don't even worry. You can use backdate your paperwork and something. I said, backdate? Is she trying to talk these folks into a crime? And that shit pisses me off, because when you're black and you look a certain way and you can present and talk a good game, other black people would just listen to you on the strength of being black, right? Because they don't have that baking experience, or maybe they don't hear a crime like I hear a crime. You get what I'm saying? So next thing you know, they listening to old girl giving her a kickback, and she's teaching them how to submit this paperwork, because that's exactly what happened. Yeah, that's exactly what was happening in these hoods. People were showing people how to get through and fill out that paperwork and backdate it and all that type of, that shit, and getting some money off of it and calling it their LLC and their small business. I said, look at him. Niggas are going to jail. You niggas are going to jail. Long story short, these niggas are going to jail. Like, a lot of people, like, and you don't hear a lot of people talk about it online because nobody wants to admit to the fact that they're not the, what's his name? From the Pretty Ricky group. Or, there's a pastor, I think he got like 20 million or something like that. They didn't get that, and they don't have a name for themselves, so you don't really see all the stories make the news. But people don't want to tell you they're losing their Section 8, because once you backdated and you told these people that you've been in business and such and you were making such and such this year and blah 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 blah, your housing then wants to know. And this is why I say ain't no rich nigga in the housing, ain't no rich person qualifying for these type of benefits. So right here, then your housing wants to know, listen ma'am, you wouldn't told them people, and they sent us a bad signal, that you were making this and this type of money this year, that year, and we just don't understand because we've been paying your rent. So you mean to tell me you've been lying to us? So this is delusion that we have that infuriating, right? Even like, you know it's a problem because we see it in our celebrities, right? They would get that first check that, they get themselves in debt before they actually make money, right? Wrap your mind around that. People get themselves in debt before they make money in the music industry a lot of time, right? They don't read the contract. They don't understand every dime that they're spending. They getting all this jewelry. They're getting these advances. When you go on tour, you pay for every bit of that. Every bit of that. Every bit of that. And I think it was Toni Braxton. She was like, I'm getting all these gowns being sent to me and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I end up paying, that came out of my money. Not the labels just picking it up for you because you that girl or you that guy. And then when it's all said and done, it's time to get the financials closed at the end of the quarter. They send you that breakdown to let you know everything that, that was spent in your name. That had to come out of their, that check before they sent it to you. What y'all don't know how that go? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right? So this just like not having an understanding of money, budgets, and stuff like that and how that works. And so it's frustrating because I'd be in Clubhouse, I'd be so annoyed about people bragging about nothing. If I live in a state right now, Massachusetts, and they talk about Black Americans and Black people have a wealth of like savings of $8, right? And then nationally, we know that people living from paycheck to paycheck, right? You can't fool me because a couple of niggas are online acting like they are getting to all of the money. It's just not real, right? Numbers would reflect all you niggas being rich. Respectfully. Okay? So there was no greater an example of like, y'all needed a visual. I know I can tell you about what's going on in Clubhouse with all the rich niggas. Y'all need a visual of like what it looks like, what it sounds like, and how absurd it sounds like. So I think this would be a great story to tell you about this rich nigga who went to the People's Chili's, okay? So we have Yvette Carnell, and so I'm gonna read the tweet, but let me go ahead and let me read the tweet first. So no, do I want to show you or read the tweet first? I'm gonna go ahead and show you the video first, and then I'll read the tweet.
We in Chili's, me and my crew, and them on side of me. We in Chili's, me and my crew, and them on side of me. She wanted to order something. Her man said, you can't get that. I don't have enough money for that. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no way my husband would take me to Chili's and I can't get what the fuck I want. This ain't even from Chris. It's Chili's. Everything is $18 and under. So, I'm mad with him. I'm definitely mad with him. For treating that woman like that, she need to run.
This video is so sad, so disappointing to see. And today is Valentine's Day. Times are hard for a lot of people. There's a lot of couples out there that can't afford to go out to eat tonight. And I know how that feels. I've been that man. I've had a woman that I love very much break up with me because I was young, I was broke, and she wanted to be with somebody rich. I know how that feels, and it's heartbreaking. But you had to go, you had to say this so loud because you intentionally want that man to hear you. You want to shame him. And then you go and you post it online. For what? For people to make fun of him? So you can feel good about yourself? How about you be grateful that you have enough money to buy what you want on that menu, to take care of your friends, your loved ones, instead of shaming this man? I can't believe people think this is okay to do to another human being today. You need to do better. Mind your own fucking business. Sorry, Mom.
He said that. Ain't nobody mad at him for that. So I think this is a great example. Like, even though I'm being cheeky, fly, and talking my shit the way I do, he's 100% right, but it also translates to that behavior that I see on Clubhouse I'm telling you about. Like, it just never makes sense to me of like how we talk in terms of like money and wealth, and just not really having any real idea of like what that looks like, right? We are fighting for reparations because it says by 2053 that it is estimated that Black Americans will be at zero wealth in this country, right? Zero wealth. But somehow, some way, niggas still continue to show up every day on the Clubhouse and being the richest and spending 6 to 8 hours online every day, right? And they are getting to the bag, right? So it does us it does us no good, makes us look loony and crazy all at the same time. We are coming from let me read what Yvette Carnell has to say here. She says, it's sad that a white man has to tell a man who is part of a wealthless group not to poverty shame. Still glad somebody did it. At Chili's recording and bragging about balling out with your crew. He said with my crew though too. Balling out with your fajitas and Southwestern's wraps is so goofy. She sounds so much like me. Like, why are you talking like me, girl? It's goofy shit. That is goofy. You are at goofy. That is goofy behavior. It is Chili's. It's not Ruth Chris. It's not Morton's. It's not any of those. It's like not any of those things. It's not Nobu. It's none of that. And you really feel like it's a flex to talk about you can get whatever you want at Chili's. I think probably the most expensive plate they got at Chili's is probably what? $28. Probably something with some seafood and steak on it. $28 is probably the most expensive plate that they have there. And I'm comfortable with saying that. And you sitting there acting like you really balling out. And now this person, let me go ahead and read. So before I go read the comments, please check out Yvette Carnell. She's someone that you most definitely, as reparations continue to get spoken about, you're going to hear her name gets brought up a lot. She's most definitely instrumental in the actual current movement that we're in with reparations, and really kind of getting the boat, moving, like creating the motion right now behind the conversation. There's always these disagreements and arguments about like who created what. I will tell you this, and this is why this is really important in terms of, my ADOS flyer here. Here we go. The names that you see here listed, Yvette Carnell could be one of those names. Just talking circa last 5 years of just like really, again, like I said, getting on board, and getting this thing started, in the new media fashion, right? It got introduced, and I think it was like in the 70s or maybe even the 80s. I think it was in the 80s by John Conyers, who was a representative out of Michigan, right? So he was the first person to propose reparations, right? Names like Sandy Darity, I believe, he's written some books. There is Claude Anderson, also an author. Then you have Sheila Jackson Lee out of Texas. She's most definitely been an advocate and most definitely I do have Yvette's name there. See, right under John Conyers. So again, please follow, get informed. I think that's a great place to start. She also has a YouTube channel. And y'all know I don't usually talk about other YouTubers and stuff like that. Not because I don't want to hate or congratulate or support people. It's just like, I don't know. It's so messy out here in terms of like even working and networking and getting with people. People have their own intentions. People do fake friendships. People are looking for reasons to go viral. And as you can see, the video that we just watched, that was just wanting to go viral. That's all that was. Wanting to go viral. And some people don't care how they have to do that, right? And I think we should be used to that by now. I mean, from Kim Kardashian still crying about a sex tape she arranged, to who else is out here creating viral moments. And it's just like, you really think that like we're that dumb? Krishan and Blueface, most definitely some of this shit is creation. Who else is out here putting on the show for the world to see? And they don't mind doing it because at the same time, it's sort of like, I'm going to reap or I'm going to make money off of this, so I don't give a fuck what you think, right? And there's some people who's willing to, willing to embarrass themselves as long as it equals them getting paid behind it. I will say, like someone like Blac Chyna's mother, Tokyo. Yeah, most definitely, she doesn't give a fuck of what she's saying. Long as you watching her channel, long as she can get these Google checks, she don't give a fuck. Cause you see, as you can see, she don't even give a fuck about her daughter. And if you are not black, and if you don't understand, and if you want to be in denial, if you don't want us to just talk about the things that go on within the community, this is not the channel for you. I'm not the person for you. I'm gonna always talk about it.
I'm about to drive to California and jump China's fence. I'm going to leave a Sunday morning. I'll be there Tuesday. No, it's a threat. I'm going to jump the fence. I'm telling you now. I already told them. I'm going to jump the fence like I did before. I'm going to kick her fucking front door open. And I'm coming. Oh, one kick that motherfucker's in. You heard me. Fucking door. Bam! I'm about to drive to California and jump. Young, I'm saying right now, China, you are done out here. They gonna get you. They gonna get you next. Don't say I didn't say it. I'm gonna prepare for it. I really am. They're gonna tear her down. They're gonna put her on drugs. She don't speak up for herself. She don't do shit. She sit in that house like a fucking hermit. I'm just done with it. I'm definitely afraid of her. I swear to God, she would sacrifice me for more. What is she doing at the Grammys? For what? You ain't did shit. I can't complete nothing with a weak ass nigga. Young, I'm saying right. I sent her investments to do. Look, she don't talk. I don't give a fuck. I talk about the Bible. It's coming soon, Angie. I tell her what to do. I tell her about the Euphrates River drying up. Excuse me. I tell her all this shit. Warning. I tell her about the red planets. I tell her all this shit. I tell her all this shit. Oh, Happy New Year. I tell her all this shit. I say all kinds of shit to make her ass answer. I'm telling you, make a...
But what we see with Blac Chyna and her mother is so fucking disgusting. You see a mother who should just be taking the back and supporting her daughter and not doing anything that could tear her down, and then trying to cover it up with, I love her, I'm crazy about her, and don't play with mine. You know, that type of person who won't be there for you emotionally, support you in the right ways, but just think because they're willing to come through on some dysfunctional shit that's enough, right? Tokyo Toni should be ashamed of herself. I don't care if Blac Chyna's outfit was the worst outfit at the Grammys, because it was. You should be standing in the corner somewhere and saying, my baby did that. You should be supporting her. But instead, you'd rather call her out and join on with everybody else. Fuck you. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't come out and say it more because she's trying to not to be this version or this weird, and she wouldn't be to me being disrespectful if she came out and said fuck Tokyo Toni. right? Sometimes people will think because of age and or even because she's her mother that, Tokyo Toni, that Blac Chyna owes her the ultimate respect. And I totally agree. If you have a mother or if you have a parent situation, what's a parent situation, a great dynamic that is really current to me that I think is really great. I mean, Master P and damn, you killed that for me, P. I would have said that, but damn, you janky. I'm trying to think of a family situation that is just like ultimately, like ultra supportive and stuff like that. Um, who is somebody good balance within their relationship as like parent? Sky Jackson and her mother, right? The way she supports her. Even if you got to think about Keke Palmer and her mother, the way her mother supports her, right? I think when you have those examples and those type of parents, right, you most definitely they deserve it all. Even if I had to think about this past Super Bowl that just happened, and the White brothers who one played for Philly, one plays for Kansas City, and the admiration and the love that they have for their parents, but they talked about all the support and the encouragement that they got from their parents growing up, and that made the world of a difference, right, for them. They deserve everything. Those parents deserve every fucking thing. But Tokyo Toni is a cancer. She's one of these people who should not have had kids, and I'm God bless that she only had one. But what I will never do, and I don't care how it sounds, I'll never provide cover for someone like Tokyo Toni. Because in real fucking life, what we do know is that because Blac Chyna keeps a lot of her life private. She doesn't show as much as her mother shows in terms of like her struggles in real life or, what depression she may be dealing with. We don't know any of those things, but we do know something is there. Like there's been times incidents has happened that imply allegedly drug use and all this type of stuff. And just to know that she has a mother that it could not help her in any type of way. It's like these bitches on the street, catty, gossipy, talking about you worse than a nigga on the street, trying to break you down like the niggas on the street, and then weirdly trying to say, I love you. This is just how I love. This is just me. All that dumb shit. I wasn't trying to go here, but I'm here. I'm gonna get back to the story, but please seek out and look up Yvette Carnell. I think she's somebody that if you are going to learn more about the reparations movement, if you are going to tell your family and try to inform different people that you are associated with it to get involved, she's that person. She has a lot of videos where she just covers Black issues and she breaks it down, gives you the historical context and references that you need. I don't think it's nobody's one responsibility to be looking up everything for you, providing you all types of links and doing the work for you. I just don't, and I never will, right? I think, people want to be coddled in such a way that there's no onus on them for their learning. We don't live in that world. I don't know who, I have no idea why in this community that we think that they're going to teach us all of our history. That is not going to ever be a thing. They are going to teach your child how to read. Well, you should teach your child how to read, but they're going to give your child some skills. That's what they're going to do. They're going to teach your child different formats of writing essays and stuff like that. That's what they're going to do. Right? They're going to give your child some structure. They're going to give them historical context so they can further on learn more history. They're going to give them the fundamental understanding of math. That's what they're going to do. But is it always going to be enough to carry you throughout your entire life that you don't have to pick up any responsibility for your learning? No. And I do not even think that they should. But they'll give you a skill set. Right? They'll teach you how to debate. They'll teach you how to explore your ideas. They'll do all of that stuff. They'll teach you how to socialize in terms of like you being in school. Right? They'll do that. And wherever they lack, you as a parent is supposed to be back and picking it up and providing for it. Right? It's really frustrating that people are so lazy. People want to know where you got it from. You look it up, or if you ask me, I'll tell you, but it's not my job. As long as I know I'm not lying to you, if I feel like putting a reference in it, then I will. If I'm not going against the grain, then what the hell are we talking about? If I'm not going against what's commonly believed, if I'm not making any new claims, no, you're asking someone to do the work for you. No. Anyway, so if you continue to look at the flyer, you got Juneteenth. You can look up that Freeman Bureau. Look up that. You have hashtag 40 acres and a Tesla. There's also an ADOS conference that's had every year. You can also look at the California Reparation Task Force and see what they're doing there. They're very much in line to the overall what we want in terms of like federal reparations, in terms of wanting it to be lineage based. And lineage base is extremely important. You'll hear while you're online a lot of conversation of people wanting other communities to be included, such as like Haiti. I've heard arguments for Haiti. I've heard arguments for all of Africa, which was so weird. Like I can't even wrap my head around that. As much as I can't wrap my head around Haiti, in the West Indies, I can't wrap my head around Africa. Like that's just really weird. Not because it's like people didn't go through slavery or the transatlantic slave trade did not affect the West Indies or Haiti or Africa, but if you really get to know the history, you know that it was actually something that was promised and there was circumstances attached to that. And for us to have this justice claim based off of what a debt that was owed, there's just no way we could go in and I've said this in previous videos and change it to the point where it doesn't even look like the original claim. We want to win, not lose. A surefire way for us to lose is to change the claim from what it originally was. We would lose that, right? And no, and as an American, I don't think America owes all of the slaves in every country that had slaves reparations. No, I don't. No, I don't even. No, I don't. There's nothing to talk about there. All right, so let's go ahead and read some of these comments. Let's see. All right, so these comments that I'm reading are under Yvette's share. And so this person says, I make chilies, fajita, nachos, appetizers at home because I can't afford to look at the expensive ass menu. Everything in that joint is expensive. Recession, Bidenomics 2023. He could have tablecloth a booth at Wendy's, splurge and got her a free ice cream. Shake proceeds going to charity. Oh, the shake proceeds going to shake. I don't understand why where they decide to go eat is being questioned or like what does that have to do with anything? Nothing to do with nothing. Nothing to do with nothing. And it's so, and what you will find with a lot of ADOS people, I'm not somebody who's going to go against common sense. I'm not going to go someone who's going to go against what I think is right and wrong, what I think is right or what I think is wrong, just because we all believe in reparations. That's not how that goes. That's not that's a specific politic of mine, or interest or whatever, or something that I want to advocate for. But I don't owe you just being dumb. In terms of sticking up or co-signing shit that black people do that is unexplainable. I don't like this, and this is what this seems like. Oh, I'm not gonna talk about the black guy who is talking about this white man. I'm gonna find some dumb shit to bring up in terms of you go somewhere else to eat. That's not what's being talked about. I love that the white guy talked about the concept of being grateful, and I thought he used it perfectly, because I find that sometimes when people say, oh, you should just be grateful, they use it in a manipulative type of way. And so the example I can give, let's say I've had let's say I feel a way about something someone's done to me, or I'm complaining about something, or I'm just not happy about something and I'm expressing myself. I've heard a lot of people just say, well, you just need to be grateful, as if taking away your ability to express yourself, or your ability to hold people accountable, or your ability to stand up for yourself, because somehow, some way, you're not grateful for the things that are going good because you decide to stand up for some things or talk about some things that aren't. And I find that manipulative. I think that's a way to silence people. So you don't get to do something to someone and then tell them, well, just be grateful. Right? That's just dumb. I can't find another word. I can't make it sound not dumb. It's dumb, right? So when I hear someone who's, using it the correct way, I'm going to point it out. And the correct way was this way. This white man was sitting over there minding his business, trying to make it through, do a little something special for his girl. And you got him over here hating. He's unprovoked, minding his business. And here you are interjecting yourself into their situation. Yeah, it is a be grateful type of situation that you don't have to make those sacrifices, or have to not order what you want on the menu, right? Be grateful. That is most definitely the way that you're supposed to use it. But let me tell you, motherfuckers out there who want to imply that other people aren't grateful because they express themselves, or they complain, or they want to hold people accountable for what they have done to them, right? My gratefulness is not between me and you. It's between me and God, right? Because all blessings flow through him. You motherfuckers don't have a hell or heaven to put motherfuckers in, right? You don't get to turn around and tell someone they need to be more grateful because you don't like that they standing for them 10 toes down. That ain't that. So we will agree to disagree, but you niggas, that ain't that. That's manipulation. That's spiritual manipulation. And you should be ashamed of yourself out there. Yeah, she was bugging. So this person says some of us get a little coin or power and don't know how to act. No home training. Facts. Oh, and so this one with Tamar. So the thing is, I recognize the dude, but it didn't click to me. I don't know what he is. I think he's a personality, a vlogger, but he's just messy. So this person says, Simone said the guy in the cap is Messie C. He's known for creating drama and neglecting his kids. Okay. And being engaged to a woman and leaving her to marry his new husband on the same day he was supposed to marry the woman. So yeah, just a hot ass mess. I remember this was months ago. I watched videos on this guy, and listen, he was straight at one time. He had some kids. He went gay. Then he went back straight, and he was engaged to this woman. And I think he had fell out with like close family members allegedly because they were like, I guess when your people know you, they know you, right? And so they just felt like they were trying to tell that girl, like, you can do better. Don't do this. You don't know what you're doing type of situation. And he felt some sort of way, like, leave him alone. Y'all know what it is. Stop hating. You just don't want me to be happy. People are just miserable. They blah, blah, blah. Always got something to say. MYOB, blah, blah, blah. Clearly, he don't know to mind his business, right? But all that when it's time for his business, right? And you find that to be the fact. Motherfuckers will tell you mind your business, but will be all up in yours. It don't work like that. 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 So he was telling the world, when he was marrying this girl, like they were hating on him. Like, fuck y'all. Long story short, he ended up going back to being and marrying a man after, telling everyone that he was in love with this girl. And it was just like a really crazy ass story. So y'all can look that up. What else is on here? And that's the thing. Funny, this person wrote, funny thing is he's sitting right next to them. If he really that privileged, why his husband ain't take him to enjoy a luxury meal where they don't have to be in the presence of regular folks with regular budgets for 2023? So not a flex. It's just not a fucking flex. And that's how I feel about Clubhouse. If you got all the money, if you really that person, you know what I mean? You really moving and shaking like that. I'm pretty sure you want to get to people who are moving and shaking more than you so you can move on up. It does not make any sense to me why niggas want to flex and talk about a lifestyle that they don't have. Like, it's crazy. So this person, that ADOS uppercut. That's the guy who married the lady to turn around and leave her for a man. His business. But he started to attack his ex for being broke. He's a hot mess. There's a whole timeline of him being messy and out of pocket, not surprised. Exactly. Huh. His business, right? You see how he said his business, but you see how Messie C is somebody else's fucking business. If if you were really about that life, you would have quietly stepped over and told him to order what they wanted. You treat and wish them a happy Valentine's Day. Facts. No, for real, Lady Carnell, this sudden explosion of classism has been gross. It has been gross. It's just, it don't make no sense. Like, I'm never showing up this way. Like, I just don't understand. Unless, if the zeros have to be zero following zero. Because it don't make no sense when zeros ain't following zeros in your bank account. You showing up online talking about money and going back and forth with niggas about clothes and who got this and this and that. And like I said, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So, I had already been through this with chat groups in my state. And it'd be like niggas in the projects going back and forth or standing on their bitch's back porch going back and forth with people about their clothes and who dresses better and who, I got the latest this and this and that. And niggas ain't even got shit in their name. They don't own houses. Like, it just don't make no sense. You qualify for all the benefits. You know what I mean? And the one thing about, if you qualify, that means that they do checks. Like, the computers talk to each other. So it ain't like you got money sitting in your bank under your name. It ain't like you, when they do to verify your income and all the other stuff. Like, they do all of that to make sure that you actually qualify, right? I think sometimes people have fell in love with the CNA who got the boyfriend who's the drug dealer, so she ain't reporting him to the office, and so they look like they balling more than they really are, because if they really, had to pay that $2,000 rent, you know what I mean? They wouldn't be over there living like that, right? But because they only reporting one income, niggas think that's the hood J-Lo and Ben Affleck, right there. They doing it. It's disgusting. And he gay at that. Like, really? Okay, I don't know what that means. Right. Just eat your overrated Southwestern cuisine and mind your business. I'm not saying there isn't a wealth gap, but it's important to remember how the top 1% in this country skew the data. Fun fact: the bottom half of black households and bottom half of white households share this statistic. They have zero savings. I mean, that is a dope fact, and I think, and it's a white guy who said so. And I always say this. I think people don't realize how much more in common in terms of when it comes to wealth that a lot of times that we do have in common with a lot of people. I can just out loudly just call out at certain states. With my family being from West Virginia, the Appalachian Mountain area of Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, parts of Pittsburgh, and Virginia, which I think make up the Appalachians. I was looking at that the other day. Make up the Appalachian mountain area. Those are really poor white people. Really poor white people. Like, look up things like Mountain Dew teeth, right? Like, we're talking about people who can't even afford milk. So I do think that sometimes black people have this way of thinking that we represent all the poor in the country, and that's just not a fact. Like, even if you look at the numbers behind welfare, and Social Security and all this other stuff and disability, we don't lead in those numbers. I know for sure we don't lead in welfare, right? But we don't lead. So it's just weird that y'all don't understand. There are poor white people too out here. So this was disgusting. We just don't, in terms of like the poor white people, is that this is where racism is so powerful, or just people. This is where racism in politics is so powerful. You'll have white poor people think it's because, the government. Oh, they'll be thinking that black people are getting all the subsidies in terms of benefiting and taking from the government. And so that's something that Republicans have been traditionally, in terms of welfare. It was always made to look like black people were just getting welfare. Then when people find out, like the numbers say, more white people get welfare than black people. So they benefit more. But they were never the poster child of welfare and food stamps and stuff like that. It was always black people that was the poster child for that, right? So that did some harm because it infuriated like white communities and or that thinking that black people are just living off the government. And then you have the purists who just, who being white and poor, they subscribe to the thought they don't take government handouts. They have too much pride. That's not an American thing. Kind of build yourself up, work a job, 9 to 5. That's what you're supposed to do, and rightfully so. That is what you're supposed to do. But I take government handouts. Yes, yeah. Just like the banks, just like the airlines, just like the auto industry. Yeah, 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 yeah. I take them government handouts and you send them. Like what? People have pride where they should not have pride. All the tax breaks these people get, man, you better let that shit go. You better let it go. Better let it go, let it go, let it go. So I wanted to bring that to y'all. So what else? Let me see what the people were saying underneath. Joey Swole. I think that's who posted the video. This white guy. Okay, yep, that is him. So let's see the comments here. Okay, so this person said, fam, you should have stuck to the gym. You're just highlighting and judging a minority in the worst way. Did I miss something? Did the white guy say something about minorities, or did he make any reference to race? He seen bad behavior and he called it out, right? This is disgusting. I don't know. Like, they said, this is what pisses me off, right? This minority group that this person's referring to should behave much better knowing what our situation is. Like, point period blank. Point period blank. But this white guy didn't make any reference to that, so that's crazy. Where's my cursor? Damn, growing up, we could only eat out to eat on birthday and had a $10 limit. Shout out to all the struggling families out there still making memories for their loved ones. Facts. I remember going to the bowling alley where my uncle worked because it was cheap, or the Chinese buffet for $7.99, or if we were lucky, the only hibachi in town with a kids special for like $12.99, and you got a shit ton of chicken and rice and zucchini. Humble beginnings. Facts. See, and this is where I know, and y'all gonna get mad. This is where I know we don't use words correctly. This is when I know we don't, and it's so frustrating. This is most definitely how I know we don't use words correctly. Look at all, and so these comments, I didn't know it wasn't on the screen, but these comments that I've been reading have been from these white men underneath the video, right? And they talk about their humble beginnings and having to eat like at, he said the Chinese restaurant with a whole bunch of rice and chicken and zucchini. Humble beginnings, right? That is where humble belongs. Motherfuckers. Mate, you were about to get canceled for calling out women, and now you're calling out a gay man too. You're about to be canceled. They literally run Twitter. Yeah, see, and that canceled for what? There's no way that even Messie C should feel disrespected by what the white man said, because he didn't disrespect him. He didn't attack his sexuality. Maybe he don't even know, but he didn't mention him in that type of way. So I'm not quite sure why he would have to be canceled because of an opinion, right? And that's the world we live in. I'm going to do one more story. Just talking about the fact that you should be able to voice your opinion. That man wasn't disrespectful, without people thinking that you should be canceled. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Here we go.
Generation, 10 or 11, particularly young women in the Gen Z generation. 10 or 11 to 25 and 26. They're living their lives on social media. And they're not developing interpersonal relationships. It's making them very fragile. It's reaffirming this culture of victimhood. They're not getting ready for the world. Particularly young women in the Gen Z generation. 10 or 11 to 25 and 26. They're living their lives on social media. And
okay, so this was Senator John Kennedy out of Them Peoples, Louisiana, says social media is making Gen Z girls and women very fragile and reaffirming this culture of victimhood. And I totally agree with him. it's so bad. I mean, he said from 11 to like 26, and I would even move that age range to, I'm in my 30s. I would move that age range to about 35 and younger. So late late millennials to that to this to the generational, what does he call them? Gen Z. Yeah, I would do that. I would do late millennials to Gen Z. There's just this weirdness, and I've experienced it working with people where you can't tell them they're wrong, you can't correct them. Everything is a vibe, spirits, and feelings, and being really hurt and upset if you don't want to be their friends. Can't just, it's just, they're very fragile. They're very uncomfortable to be around. They need a lot of reassurance. I'm very concerned. Like, they need a lot of reassurance. They're really not that confident. It just really sucks. And I think when you talk about work, don't nobody has time to be looking like the brute or the bully. Because I decide, oh, I just don't like you, and like, or I decide I just want to be coworkers with you. And everything hurts your feelings. Oh, is there a way that you could have said that differently? Oh, you know what you were doing. You mean just correcting what was wrong? I knew what I was doing? Or suggesting something that is right? Or showing up in my fullness is not an attack. It's supposed to be an attack on you. Like, I'm confused. Like, I don't know. Like, and it's all of that. So I most definitely totally agree. And I decided to share this with you guys because, like I said, just seeing how people were saying that white guy was going to be canceled, and it's sort of like, for an opinion? He's going to be canceled because he shared an opinion? He didn't attack that man. Right? And so that's how I even know, like, when I sit back and think of, like, past situations where I fall out, like, if I take the time to gather myself and speak to you in the appropriate way, use the right words, the right tone, and all that other stuff, and you still find a way to be offended? No, baby. The problem is not me, it's you. It's not. It's not me, it's you. No. I shouldn't have to speak to you in soft tones like a mother, right? I shouldn't have to speak to you like that to make you feel good, right? I should be able to speak to you like a regular person, right? Because you're supposed to be normal, and right? Like, that's just weird. So let's see. So this person wrote, I have they're referring to Kennedy's comments. I'm having trouble completely disagreeing with that, but I also think parents aren't raising their kids to be tougher. I totally agree. We used to be raised on sticks and stones, and now it's words hurt. Words hurt, not if you're, words hurt, question mark, not if you're raised right, and I totally agree. I totally agree. I think words hurt. And this is so funny. I was in a room today on Clubhouse, and this girl was being chastised. And people were telling her, how are you on stages with someone who disrespected you before you got into an argument, and telling her that sort of like, what's up with your self-worth, or don't you think you're better than that? And she literally gathered him and was like, listen, I'm not on here for your validation. If we had words and there's a room that I want to go in and I want to participate, I'm going to go in that room and participate. I'm not letting you scare me off because we had some words. Fuck you, because you don't mean nothing to me. You're not in my life. Real life though, you're not in that, right? I don't have to associate with you. I'm not seeking any validation from you. I'm not seeking any type of relationship from you. So there's just no fucking way I'm gonna let you scare me off because you feel away. That ain't my fucking problem. Huh. The nerve. And that's how you know people be on some bullshit. So you thought that you were going to do some fuck shit and that I'm going to be intimidated and run with my tail between my legs? Like, bully me, run me off from somewhere? Oh, fucks no. You got me all the way fucked up. Who the fuck is you? And what you said, them words don't mean nothing. These kids don't have that. These kids don't have that. They don't have it. And it's just sort of like, So I'm supposed to be unassured about myself because you are? Like, it's just really weird. It's just really weird. A lot. It's just really weird. Also, when it comes to the parents, I don't like parents who enable their children or young adults or enable their child at any point in their life, and then expect there not to be consequences for their behavior. Like, you're not teaching your child anything if you enable them when they're wrong. If you stand by and let your kid be wrong, and you don't try to correct them, or you don't try to give them advice, because once they get a certain age, all you can do is advice, right? If you don't make those attempts to do that, right, I don't think that you get to then all of a sudden, when they have to face consequences, want to step in, and want to step in and stick up, and that's your child, and be patient, and they're still learning and all this other stuff. Well, who the fuck is the teacher, and are they off duty? Because if you are the teacher, what the fuck is you saying to your child? I'm confused. You can't pick and choose when you want to be that active, playing a role as parent. No, and you sure as hell ain't gonna step in after your child has done something. No, or you're a young adult or whatever. It's crazy out here, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so let's see what some of these comments say. You know what reaffirms a girl's victimhood? Taking away her right to body anatomy, voting down bills that ensure women to have equal rights and equal pay, and voting down women's health care bill, and banning books that promote gender equality. She told not one lie, and all of that is a fact, right? All of what she said is a fact, and all of what he said is a fact. And I know it sucks because he's voted against some of those things that she's mentioned in her tweet. So, but I mean, it's two facts. It is what it is. Two things can be true at one time. He's picking and choosing on things that affect women or young girls. No man wants a woman, and then this person, we don't care. Yeah, that's how I feel on Clubhouse. Like, it's sort of like, especially in a lot of the, like, I don't know what to call them, grand rising black male centered rooms. There's always this thing of trying to put out there like what men want and how women should behave, because this is what men want, and these are the type of women that are getting married, which numbers don't say that's a fact, right? Because why would you be a book bro if passport, what do they call them, passport bro, if women, or if we're supposed to, if there are women who are behaving the way you want, like that. If you get what I'm saying, like trying to condition women to think that this is how and this is what equals to getting a ring. And what I'm trying to say, that that's not a fact. That's not true, right? So it's just really weird. And it's sort of like, especially on Clubhouse, it's like I didn't join on Clubhouse to give a fuck about what you want in a woman. Like I didn't sign up for that. Was it a dating site and I didn't fucking know about it? Like, I'm confused. I'm confused. Not my job to make you comfortable with my presence. Whether you think I'm sexy, or if I'm the color version of you, what you want, skin tone version, or my beauty don't meet your expectations, I think about none of that shit when I get on Clubhouse. I'm not falling in love with PTRs. I don't even sit in back channels, or I haven't even kicked it with anybody in terms of a man on Clubhouse to even see if I was interested to anybody. And if I have not expressed being interested in you, if I don't, if I ain't told you I thought you were cute and none of that, how the fuck you my type? And that's the most annoying thing sometimes with black men. They will assume that all of black women want them because they're some endangered species. It don't make no sense, y'all. Someone wrote, term limits. I can only imagine the breadth of his expertise on what women and girls' experiences. Do tell us more. I mean, like I said, all these are still right because, like I said, he's voted against some very shit that is very harmful to women. Voted for some shit that's very harmful to women. Men unhappy being told what to do with their bodies. That's funny. I'm having trouble completely disagreeing. I read that already. Elmer Fudd needs to worry about why Louisiana is ranked 50th in maternal mortality, education, access to health care, and equality. I mean, if you put it like that, he most definitely does need to worry more. But this is, again, y'all are picking and choosing because the message is a great message. Because, again, this is something that people have been talking about, this fragileness within these kids. And as we see all these suicides happening and stuff, and the young adults not being able to cope, he raises great points. We don't have to tear down a great message because of the messenger, right? Like, be bigger minded, or you know what I mean, to the bigger picture of like what the bigger picture of what's being spoken to, right? So I don't know. I just disagree with, trying to come at him. Stop stomping on women's rights and tell us why you went to Russia on July 4th, 2018, comrade. That one was good. Oh, what? I can't. I gotta follow this person. This person said, I have a portal between my legs that literally brings new souls into this world. So you can lower your motherfucking voice when talking to me. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, I have to share that. That is so funny. That is so funny. I gotta follow this person. Am I following this? Oh my god. Where have you been with that sense of humor? Oh, that is so funny. I loved it. I promise y'all I loved it. Okay, so y'all, I went ahead and give y'all two stories that I thought was really important just to get things in context and, talk my shit about some shit I see on the social media. Y'all know how we do it here. Y'all keep it bougie as F, black as F, posh as F. And I am out, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Y'all be blessed, y'all. Bye.